All right, everyone. Good morning. It is Sunday, January, Jesus, March 22nd. Told you it was a long week, boys. Told you. I'm here. Mike Williams moderating today. Raja Anthony Ali, Coach Will. R&B will be on soon. How y'all gentlemen doing today? Mental health scale of 1 to 10.
I'm gonna say a 6. I'm staying positive. Just had a really rough week at the job, but you know what, man? I'm glad we get an opportunity to talk sports and change the tone of how things are going. So I'll say 6.
Okay. How about you, Will?
I'm gonna say 6.5, which is an uptick. You know what I mean? Positive motion. Um, got an interview that I'm looking forward to on Tuesday. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
That's what's
So
up.
so so much of what I be stressing about right now is work. You know what I mean? And the people that I work for and dealing with all of that. So I didn't try to escape once, and I don't know if y'all ever watch Carlito's Way. Every time I try to escape, they drag me back in. You know, you know, I
Oh
didn't try to
man,
escape it before, and it didn't work out. But hopefully, this will be my path forward. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
So some positive energy. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Yeah, I'm at about a 7 today. Work week was awful, like just bad. Except Friday. Friday was smoother and cooler than the other side of the pillow.
Okay.
And I tell people if I could guarantee a smooth Friday, you could throw whatever you want at me Monday through whatever throw. If I knew on Friday it was gonna be smoother than butter, I
Mm,
am with it. You throw whatever you want on me Monday through Thursday. Just give me that smooth Friday and I'll take it. But
that's good.
yeah, we're at about a 7. Did some honest hour yesterday, 4 episodes. Got to do another episode today. So I'm tired. I'm tired. That's for sure. But we're gonna get into it. Couple little light breaking news topics that happened before we get into the other ones. And the first one is Kevin Durant has now became the 5th all-time leader.
You gotta wait for Ryan. you gotta wait for Ryan because we was already debating this morning off camera about this. You gotta wait for Ryan for that one, bro. Oh, there you go. There you
Perfect
go. Right
time.
on time.
Perfect timing. Here we go.
Good
So,
morning, fellas.
Good morning. Good morning.
What up? What up?
what, what's your mental health at today, R&B?
Uh, I say round about a 6.5, 6.5. I'd say somewhere around there. Not too
Okay.
bad. You know what I'm saying? Could be better. Just got to get better.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I guess I'll allow you to go first on our first topic, and it's about Kevin Durant being 5th all time in scoring, passing
KD.
Michael Jordan last night.
hmm Only 1,000 something points away from passing the great late Kobe Bean Bryant as well. He'll probably do that sometime next season.
Yeah,
Hell of
about
a feat, fellas.
mm.
Hell of a feat. Hell of an accomplishment. Still don't validate him for me.
Mm-mm.
Well, when
I
you
need to
say
see. Go ahead. You about to ask me something?
yep. I was just gonna say, well, what do you want to see in terms of, or I guess the question is, what do you look for in validation?
With
What
KD, for me, I just want to see him win one without Steph and the crew.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I want from KD. He's done everything else. I just want to see him win one without Steph and the crew. He has the stats. He has all of the numbers. You know, he's in the echelon with all of those top 5 to top 10 greats. He's there. He just, in my opinion, he ruined his trajectory when he left OKC
mm,
and went to Golden State. Not necessarily leaving OKC, but when he left there and went to Golden State, in the facet that he did, it put a knot on his legacy. It did. Even LeBron, when he left Cleveland, you know what I'm saying? At least we could say he had literally done all he could do and took that sorry ass team to a finals in which they got swept by San Antonio. KD did get OKC to the finals, but I don't feel like he necessarily left because he didn't feel like it was a franchise that was willing to do the things that they needed to do in order to sustain success like LeBron did. LeBron, as much as I didn't like him teaming up with D Wade them in Miami, he had damn good reason to want to be the fuck up out of Cleveland. I don't see that for KD, and that's what made it in a lot of people's eyes. That's what made it look so weak. You know what I'm saying? Because they had just beat you. You were up. Let's not forget, you were up 3-1 on Golden State, and you and Russ blew a 3-1 lead and allowed them to come back and beat y'all. And once they turn around and go to the finals and blow a 3-1 lead and allow LeBron to come back and beat them, and they realize, fuck, we need KD. We need the, you know what I'm saying? Harrison Barnes is not gonna be it. So even though they needed him, more than one thing can be true at the same time. It was just kind of weak when he left OKC. You know what I'm saying? The way he in the facet that he did to go join over Golden State without truly delivering in OKC the way we all had the expectations for him to do. And for that, and he'll never admit it, I don't think, publicly, but to me he has admitted it since in his actions. That's why he left Golden State. It wasn't just because him and Draymond got into it. Brothers get into it all the time. Hell, me and Will have heated arguments sometime when we debating shit. I've had heated arguments with y'all debating stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? If everybody say, oh, Draymond made him leave, no. He got tired of all of the noise. That's what made him leave. That's why he went to try to see if he could lead his own team in Brooklyn. And that it didn't go his way with the Kyrie and James Harden situation. Then he decided, well, let me go over to Phoenix, team up with Devin Booker. We'll get Bradley Beal over here. It didn't work. And now he's in Houston. And they look like a good team. But it, you know what I'm saying, will it work? We have to see. Losing Fred VanVleet for the season definitely put a knock on things. But that's all I'm basically saying with. And like I say, validating might not be the right word. You know, I might not just be articulating it in the right facet for some
Right.
people. You know, I don't know, but that's all I need. That's what I want to see out of KD.
Man, hell must froze over because me and you are gonna agree for once. And you know, Raj has known that I have been on the fuck Kevin Durant trade since July 4th that year when Stephen A brought his ass on First Take and said that Kevin Durant was going to Golden State. It was the weakest, most pathetic move in the history of the NBA. I don't care what anybody says. Not up. And one thing that was missed was in those final 3 games when they were up 3-1, they were leading all 3 of those games against Golden State before they lost. So I just want to make that crystal clear that they weren't just up 3-1 commandingly. In those last 3 games, they were leading with 2 minutes left. And yeah, Kevin Durant has done everything else just about like that you can ask a player to do. And you know, I had to make sure because I couldn't recall if he won an MVP, but it says he did that in 2014.
Yeah, he won MVP in OKC.
Yeah,
You the real MVP, Mom. That's where that came from.
The year
yeah.
that Russ was hurt. After they traded James to Houston, the year that Russ was hurt.
And just one thing I'm going to add to what R&B said is I think for him, he knew that he needed a championship. Like, and what I say is like certain players, they have time to win one, right? Like look at Tatum and Brown, how long it took and how many renditions of the Celtics that they had and players they brought in before they finally won one, right? but there was no. I feel like the media never put that pressure to say they have to win, right? Like Kevin Durant had came in and with OKC had done so much there, they had gotten to a point where, the media is dictating, like, you need to win, right? And of course, every player wants to win at least once. Every
Mhm.
player. Like if like I said, I take it from Stone Cold Steve Austin. He said, if you ain't here to win the championship, what are you doing here? Like, you know, that applies. I mean, yeah, you can make money and all that. We get all that. But ultimately, if you're on that court, you want to win a championship. You play in 82 games in a regular season and 30 plus playoff games potentially to win. And yeah, Kevin Durant, I'm with you. I don't think it validates him. I just need to see him win one as well without Steph Curry. I mean, you go to Brooklyn and that didn't work out, and you gave up on OKC, as you alluded to, because that's really what it was. Because if you would have waited, and I don't, I mean, look at OKC now. If I'm him, I bet he's low key tight right now. Like he's he's got to be tight. I mean, not saying they would be the same team, but some of those players, and it wouldn't have went this. But the way OKC's always been in the mix and has always found a way to get draft capital, draft correctly. So it may not be the same exact situation, but I'll say this: he might have had two without Steph by now, maybe even three, and he'd be looked at on a different tier than he is now because Golden State's always going to hang over his head. It's always going to put an asterisk next to his career, unfortunately, unless he can get that eluded title uh, without Steph Curry. Because Steph won one before him and then fucked around and won one after him. Like, and I kind of, the first one was kind of like, because, Cleveland didn't have all their players. And it's not to take away, but it was definitely a rough and easier series for them, but they did it. But that
That's
second,
that.
go ahead.
I was just about to chime in real quick to say that second one is really what validated Steph when they beat Boston. People
Yep.
didn't give him that true validation off the first one because he didn't even win Finals MVP. Iguodala did.
Right. That
And,
second,
and Kyrie and Kevin Love was hurt for that series.
right.
Kyrie
Yep.
only played game one. Kevin Love had been out since the second round, I think.
Facts.
Mhm.
And it
But that,
didn't help. And it didn't help for them to go right back the next year and blow that 3-1 lead when Kyrie and them did play. And Kyrie
Exactly.
bust his ass the way he did.
Exactly.
right. So, but the second one, like not the second one without KD, his fourth one, bro. Like I think, and I'm not, I can't speak for all of you, but I don't think you'll disagree. They shouldn't have won that title. Like, like
Wait, which
no
one?
one.
Which one?
The second one they won without KD.
Against
Like the
Boston.
Yeah,
Against Boston.
well, not that they shouldn't have won, but in the sense no one's seen it coming, right?
No.
Like we were just like how are they here? I mean, I could say I was like, how are they here? How? And they did it,
Can,
But
real quick, Mike.
yeah,
I feel like the first and the fourth were similar but different. Like
mm-hmm.
if you knew your basketball, you knew who Golden State was coming. Like you knew they was, you know what I'm saying? They was building something over there. But
Right,
nobody expected them to go 73-9 that year. Like nobody expected that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
yeah,
I,
they
I,
were
I-
mad.
Nobody outside of that organization, you know what I'm saying, would have told you that year they was about to go 73-9 and run through the league the way that they did. So that's why I just say similar, like opposite ends of the spectrum, kind of. You know
Right,
what I'm saying?
yeah, nah, but that's just my take on it, you know. But we'll see what if he can do it. You got what you want to throw in here, Rod? You haven't thrown anything in yet.
Yeah, real quick, I just want to say I agree with everything that's said. I'll just add in just this little tidbit. Like, I think he could have redeemed himself in Brooklyn if everybody stayed in Brooklyn. I think that was the main thing that KD left Golden State to kind of build his own team. And I know he tried his best with Kyrie, and I don't know what the hell happened with James Harden, but it was a weird situation there with James Harden and Kyrie and stuff like that. But long story short, I just feel like if KD would have if KD would have watched where he stepped when he hit that 3-point shot, I honestly believe the Brooklyn Nets would have at least got to the finals. I'm not saying win it all, but they would have at least got to the finals because they had the Milwaukee Bucks on a rope up until that final shot. So there's a lot that I think about when it comes down to KD. I love his game. I love how he plays and stuff like that. But as far as his off the court antics and as far as his genetic makeup, pretty much, I just don't agree with it. Give me 1 second, guys.
Okay. Yeah.
I go ahead and jump in. And again, I was telling y'all, Mike and Raj, that before we got, you know what I mean, live, that me and Ryan had already been talking about this. And I told him, like, I don't necessarily disagree with what you're saying in the general sense. I just don't like the word validated. Like, KD don't need shit else to be validated at this point. KD is a first ballot Hall of Famer. KD is a two-time champion, two-time finals MVP. Whoever the fuck was on that court in those two finals, he was unquestionably by far the best player on the court. You know what I'm saying? Um, so for me, it's more like, look, Mike, you said every player want to win. I agree with you. Every player wants to win, but 98% of the players in the NBA are not in a position to demand anything in regards to winning. Most of them just trying to get to their next contract.
Right.
So we talking about, you know what I'm saying? When we had these conversations, that don't matter. Not that it doesn't matter. It's way more important for these kinds of players that we be talking about. You know what I'm saying? In a vacuum, everybody want to fucking win,
Right.
but we don't operate in a vacuum. You know what I'm saying? Um. So again, that like my point about shit. Yeah, they went 73-9 that year, but it's not like anybody expected that. They won that year. They lost the next year, and they felt like they needed to go get KD. It's not like
No,
KD
no, hold on,
started.
hold on. They lost the year they went 73-9. That's the year LeBron beat them.
No, I'm
That's why
saying they won.
he
I'm
felt
saying,
like he was the GOAT.
right. Okay, even the year before, it was like 63-19 or some shit like that. Like, which is a historically great record. You know what I mean? So okay, so yeah, you're right. I'm mixing up the 73-9 and the first year they won the championship, but my point is still the same. Like, nobody expected them to dominate the way they did, and then they came back the second year and they fucking lost. No matter what their record was, 73-9, you kind of making my point. 73-9 and went through the playoffs, and they fucking lost. And they felt like they needed KD. Look, KD could have went to any other team in the league. If KD would have just called the front office and said, "Hey, look, I'm coming to play for y'all this summer," you know what I'm saying? They would have figured that shit out. Golden State was not in that position, but they felt like they needed that nigga. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I don't know if credit is the word I want to use, but it's like they needed each other at that point. You know what I'm saying? KD didn't trust Russ, and he didn't trust OKC because OKC didn't want to give James Harden another, what is it, $5-6 million over the course of a 4 or 5 year contract, and then he
Yeah.
go to Houston and he's a fucking MVP. You know what I mean? Me as a competitor, as a hooper, the only knock I'm gonna have on KD is, damn, them niggas just can't. Yeah, y'all was up 3-1, and them niggas beat y'all, and he went and joined them niggas. Like, yeah,
Can't beat him.
there is a part of me that understands that. But again, if we keep talking about, it's all about winning. It's all about winning. It's all about getting a championship. He went and did that shit, and when he did it twice, it's still like, well, he didn't do it this way, and he didn't do it that way, and it's like, man, okay, so what the fuck are we talking about then? You can't. I'm a firm
Hold
believer that
on,
no, 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 no. Let me finish.
Nick,
Let me finish. Let me
hurry
finish.
up, man. Hurry up, because you on some bullshit. You on some bullshit, and I'm about to call you on it.
You can try. Go ahead.
No, nobody was saying that about KD.
Nobody was saying what about KD?
What you just said, he won this way, won that way. Nobody was saying that before he went to Golden State, and nobody said it
I
until
didn't
he got
know.
to.
See, so you already misunderstand. When I said that part, I was saying that in a general sense. So again, follow what I'm saying. Niggas that's on KD level, it's about it, you gotta win. You gotta win. You gotta win. And it didn't start with KD. It started with Brian, where it's like, okay, well, you didn't win the way that we want you to win.
Mm.
We don't like the way you won. And so again, for years and years and years, it's all about championships, rings. You know what I mean? If you this kind of dude, you gotta win to prove your place. And then it got to a point where when they didn't do it the way that motherfuckers wanted them to do it, now that's a problem. It's not enough that you won. It's that, okay, well, you didn't do it the way that Magic did it, or that Bird did it, or that Russell did it, or that whoever in the fuck did it. Before free agency even existed in the NBA, when the economics of the game were different, when the whole fucking league was different.
Mm.
Don't be judging me in the 2010s and 2020s on 60s and 70s shit.
But
Like,
hold
no,
on though,
but they, no. So again, they carried that shit forward, and it's win at all costs. And then as
no,
soon
I
as a
disagree.
motherfucker win the way that niggas don't like it, it's all well, but he won, but he won, but like, no, I don't subscribe to that shit. And you ain't gotta agree with it. You know
I
what I'm
agree.
saying?
I
But
agree.
I don't subscribe to that shit. So you can say
You
whatever
don't,
you want to say. You know
you
what I mean?
don't
And you
have to
got your
subscribe
opinion
to
about
it.
it.
Just like we
But
don't
I
have
ain't
to
gotta agree
subscribe
with
to
that
your
shit.
opinion on it. Because everything you say is opinionated too, nigga. Let's not forget that shit. You
So, and again, what I did not say was, so again, what I
you
did not say was the way I feel. No. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. Because
bro,
what I did say was, you can feel how you want to feel about it. You can feel however the fuck you want to feel about it. Because I don't come on this bitch being like, whatever kind of way I feel is the right way. We all debate our shit, and we all got our opinion. So don't sit here
But
and act like I'm trying to tell you that you
hold
wrong.
on, but you do speak that way though. You try to speak as if
And
you
so
telling
do
niggas
you.
they wrong, and
And
we
so
not.
do you.
We having a motherfucking right to our opinion, and
And I
when
never
you
said
just
you.
sat
And
here,
I
hold
never said
on.
you didn't.
You
I
just
never
sat
said
here
you
and
didn't.
said the minute he went to Golden State, now niggas like, oh, we don't like how you won. No, nigga, we called him out on how he was about to win before he fucking won because we knew he was gonna win, and that's the problem. It's no
That's your
parity.
problem.
Bro, it's the problem. It's the problem. It
And
might not be your problem because you want to be Mr. Yes Man for everything, but it is the problem.
no, nigga, that's your problem. The
No,
problem
it's the
suggests that there's
problem.
a right or
It's
wrong
the
answer.
problem.
Your
It's the
problem.
problem.
Everybody don't think
It's
like
the
you, bro. Just
problem.
like everybody don't think like me.
Nah, bro. Facts, but it's the
I
problem.
I will say this. I would just yeah. How do you know how many games the Miami Heat won the year LeBron before LeBron went there?
40, I think, if I remember right, they went 40 and
Yeah.
Yeah,
40,
they was
Yeah,
42,
something
like
like that. 40, 42.
a fifth,
something
sixth
like that.
seed or
Yeah.
some shit.
Yeah, it was
I
it's a
believe it was
500
40.
team.
It was 47 and 35. I believe.
Okay.
Kevin Durant went there when they won 73 games and he had just lost to them. So what you're saying isn't wrong. It's just the
I,
perspectives are
I
just different.
never said it was the same thing.
But
I
hold
never
on.
said that.
Can I say this though? Can I say this? Because I think this is the main problem with how we view things, right? And it's actually gonna come up when we mention our small forward list. We focus hyperly on the championships. We don't focus on the actual impact that person has on a championship team. We will say, like you said, we don't like the way KD won, but yet we also in the same breath will say, oh, it's all about winning. You
Right?
can't have both.
That's the point I'm making, bro.
You
That's
can't
the
have
point I'm
both
making.
because a person like Robert Ory, right, got 7 rings, but he's never brought up in a GOAT conversation. You see what I'm saying? It's
Derek Fisher
because
got 5 of them things.
Why the fuck would somebody mention Robert Ory or Derek Fisher in the GOAT conversation because of their role player ring?
well they won. They
Which is
won.
the point I was making about it's more about the small group of people that we have this conversation about. It's not the whole league that we sit back and say, well, you know what I mean, at the end of the day, they either won or they didn't. It's a very, very, very small percentage of that shit. And
Yeah,
again, the point I
we
was
talking
making
top
was
10, top 20 niggas.
that that's exactly what
Yeah,
I'm saying. But again, it
Yeah,
got to a point. But man, listen, like we ain't gotta agree, but it got to a point where it's like, okay, it ain't just about winning. It matters how you win. Like
right.
that's undeniable. That's
And
undeniable. That is a fact. We can have our opinions about shit, but certain things are factually accurate, and
right,
it don't matter what your opinion is about it. Certain things are facts, and we can feel however we want to feel about these facts, but your opinion don't change the facts. So again, when it comes to the facts, I talk about certain facts. You know what I mean? And when it's my opinion, I'll acknowledge and express that shit. But I don't pretend like my opinion is a factual thing. So we not gonna do that. That's not what I do.
yeah. And I want to just say this real quick. When it comes down to championships and legacy and stuff like that, it's narrative based. It's narrative based because if you think about it, if LeBron was going to be the quote unquote GOAT, right? Then he would have stayed. He would have stayed in Cleveland and waited until this team they got right now. Do you understand what I'm saying? If he was really about that life, he would have stayed in Cleveland his whole entire career and waited till Evan Mobley came, waited till Jarrett Allen came, waited till
But
Donovan Mitchell came. He would have waited.
where you
If he
going
was
with this
going,
point?
there's
Because
no
that don't make.
guarantee that
Where
any of
you
that
going with this
happens
point?
if he
Because where
stays.
you going with this point? Because that
I'm
if
what
he
I'm
stays, they don't end up with a Mobley because they
well.
not picking Mobley,
Right.
Well,
picking first
Right.
overall.
You're right.
we
There's no
what
guarantee that any of that happens, which is why I ain't mad if somebody saying, you know what, I'm not gonna wait and leave my name
right,
and my legacy in some motherfucker that I don't believe in. I'm about to,
right.
and again, and then look, and I'm about to fuck everybody up with this. And then when KD won that championship, he said, like, it didn't fulfill me the way that I thought it was gonna fulfill me.
Right.
Everybody else was more worried about me winning the championship than I was worried about me winning the championship. You know what I'm saying?
It
And it
did.
didn't fulfill him at the end of the day.
It didn't fulfill him the way he thought it would fulfill him because he didn't get it the way he truly wanted to get it.
Hmm.
He
Is it
really
the way he
wanted to get it
wanted to
with
get it?
Russ.
No, he got it the
He
way he
wanted. He
wanted to
wanted.
get it. He signed with Golden State, no, like feeling like he was gonna win a championship. It's not
But
the way that everybody feel like he should have got it. I
but
think
I
that's because at some point KD was the NBA darling. When Brian went inside, when Brian D Wade and Bosh went to Miami, everybody was like, "Well, KD is, you know what I mean, a real one. He a true one. He ain't never gonna leave OKC." When he
And,
extended his rookie contract and all he did was put it on Twitter, oh, see, he don't need no, you know what I mean, big production and all that. And it's like, nigga, he extended his rookie contract. Like, whenever you extend your rookie contract, it ain't none of that. But they were juxtaposing him versus against LeBron. And then when he didn't end up being what they thought he was gonna be and who they wanted him to be, now again, he won the championships, but damn, he did it this way and he did it that way. If it's all about
Hey,
winning and he
but
put
hold on
himself in
though.
a position to win, then what's the issue? I'm not
If you
saying
gonna
that
bring
all
up, if
championships
you
ain't
gonna hold
created
on
equal.
though, if you gonna bring up Twitter, let's not forget who spoke out on Twitter when LeBron went to Miami.
And he got to
KD,
stand on that shit.
KD.
exactly. But that's what I'm. That's
He
what
got
we.
to stand on that. Yeah,
But that's
I
what
ain't
I'm
disagreeing
saying.
with that.
Everybody. Once again, it goes back to narratives. It goes back to how we control the narrative because he's the one that made it seem like, oh well, LeBron left. You know, he's not a real one. That's what KD basically said that he wasn't real for leaving his situation and going out there and joining the super team. So
Then
if you
Russ
think,
called him a cupcake for going to
yeah,
the Golden State.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So
Like
so
he got
it's
to
like
eat
one
that.
it's one of those things where it's like, look, you're gonna win or you're not, and that's what it boils down to. And the reason why I didn't fulfill him is because he wasn't the leader of the team. Golden State wasn't his team. That was Steph's team. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So so
Facts.
that's
well
why.
well I also think that part of him didn't want to win that way. Like,
Yeah,
take it like, like I think that he would have rather have won in OKC because then that way it was his team. He was the guy, right?
Do,
To your point.
do we understand that if KD had one, maybe two, I'm a stretch it and say two championships in OKC, where that changes his whole legacy placing with the stats that he's doing and what he still can go on
yeah,
to accumulate if he plays the next 3-4 seasons.
I don't
yeah.
disagree with that at all. But it also,
Yes,
again, when Raj is bringing up, you know what I mean, the fact that it's not always about the facts and the truth. You know what I'm saying? It's these storylines that the media needs to create. You know what I'm saying? To keep
Let,
people
let,
watching
let,
them and listening to
let's
them. It's
leave the
not about
media
what
out
happens
of it,
on the
though.
court.
Let's
It's not
leave the
about what
media
happens on
out
the
of
court.
it, though. Let's leave the media out of it because we all know sports enough to have our own opinion. So we don't have to go with the media's opinion. We can have our own. We all form our
Wait,
own
real
opinion.
quick. Can I tell you why I always bring up the media? Because the
yeah.
media always tell us how they speak on the behalf of these people, of these
Mm-hmm.
athletes. And again, Stephen A. will do that shit. I'm just talking to the OGs and the legends that I know, and this is what they telling me. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
and
saying?
the league, how the league views them. Like it's
It will be different if we hearing this. And sometimes, I'm not saying we never do. I'm not saying we never do. Sometimes we do hear the OGs come out and speak. But way more often than not, it's the media speaking, and then they say, well, it ain't my opinion. It ain't what I'm saying. This is what people are telling me. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So it's like, no, okay, even if that's what you putting out there because look, it's certain people who know how to watch basketball and understand basketball. Most people, they learn it from what they see in the media. Most of
Mm-hmm.
these people are watching Sports Center or they watching fucking YouTube clips or whatever the case may be. They don't. So it's when the media puts shit out in a certain kind of way. And again, so when I keep saying like it was all about KD grew up on it's all about winning. It's all about winning. And when he put himself in the ultimate situation to win a championship, they still threw dirt on his fucking name. And now it's like, well, what? Okay, I thought y'all said it was all about winning. I thought it was supposed to be all about winning. But again, I didn't win the way y'all wanted me to win. That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. And again, I don't absolve athletes of their, you know what I mean, responsibilities. It's not that. But when we talking about like all this shit that be out here, that shit come from the media more often than not
I can't.
directly from the athlete.
I can't. I as a sports fan and analyst cannot give KD that pass because he already knew what the media was because he again as I pointed out when LeBron went to Miami he was one of the first athletes that had something negative to say about it on Twitter. So that means you already knew what it was and you knew the narrative and
No,
you followed right behind
him
it.
posting on Twitter ain't the same as putting out a whole media narrative. That's not the same thing, bro.
I mean, he, and I quote: "If I'm paraphrasing here, but I would have to literally go back and look up the tweet. I'm pretty sure it's viral enough to where we could Google search it. But he did say something to the like of, "Damn, dudes, teaming up and making super teams. Nah, where they
And
do that at? That's weak."
and then when he figured it out, he was like, "Oh no, maybe
It's a
I was
win-win.
wrong. Niggas be wrong sometimes."
Yeah,
You
and
know what I'm saying?
that was the way he's seen as a win. That's what I'm saying. So, it is what it is.
I subscribe more to the fact that he probably just was full of shit because I see the way he portrayed shit in the media and how he's a crybaby in the media and that shit just cool dude. I don't know him personally, but I more so subscribe that he was just full of shit. Had something to say about LeBron, then you turn around and do the same shit when it got tight for you when you supposed to be the man on the team. But you saying you can't win with Russ, get him traded then.
Yeah, facts.
Well, we're gonna
Like I
leave
said,
it there.
I ain't disagreeing with everything you saying, bro. I ain't disagreeing with everything. It's not that. I just look. Professional sports is a fucking business, and when organizations make business moves, it's supposed to be understood that well, it's just business. When players make business moves, niggas get in their feelings. You know what I'm saying? And take it personal. Like I'm a hold the media, the players, the ownership, front office, all to the same standard. You know that, and that's just me.
Yeah. Yep.
Well,
I
we're
I
get in
don't
my
hold
feelings
ownership
about
to a
that.
higher standard.
we're gonna see what KD does next. But while we're talking about KD, let's talk about his first team. The Oklahoma City Thunder have been on a tear lately. I believe they're up to 11 straight victories, if I'm not mistaken. If I am, if someone knows the correct name, do say. But they're looking now like they looked in the beginning of the season when they came out and they were looking real strong. In everyone's opinion, are they the front runner for the Western Conference?
I'll jump in first. I would say they're the front runners, but they're not by like a long. I mean, they're
By a
they're
large margin?
yeah, large margin. Yeah, there we go. My brain's still
You're good.
lagging in the morning. But here's the thing:
Good.
you got the San Antonio Spurs coming up. You got the Los Angeles Lakers on a crazy winning streak. These teams are starting to build up for the playoffs. The OKC Thunder lost in that cup game against the Spurs, that showed everything I need to know as far as matchups. If the OKC Thunder don't find a way to stop Wemby, it's game over. It's game over. Now they can win a title if they get the right matchups and they can get to the West and they can potentially go all the way to the finals and win it. But if they face the Spurs, and a dark horse for me is the Los Angeles Lakers. If they go up against those two teams, it is a problem because they don't have enough power to sustain all what they got with the Spurs, and they don't have the veteran leadership to win against someone like the Los Angeles Lakers. So that's my take on that.
You say okay, so you don't have the veteran leadership to win against the Lakers?
Yes,
I
they don't have.
disagree with that point.
Well, real
I
quick,
do.
I'm not going to be long before you guys go. I just want to say the only pushback I'm going to give you, Raj, on it is you're not wrong in what you're saying. The only thing is that the Spurs beat OKC 3 times this season, if I'm not mistaken.
Times.
They beat them 4 times. Now, it's real hard to beat a team 8 times in one season. And especially when now you know your opponent, right? When you're not saying like, okay, tonight I got the Spurs, tomorrow I got the Raptors. Right. Now the OKC has time to hone in, much like San Antonio. And I'm not saying they can't do it. They have time to hone in and say, lost R&B. They have time to hone in and say, okay, like we can concentrate on this. We can get to this. That's the only pushback. I would think it would go 7 games if it is to happen. Obviously, it would have to happen in the conference finals if they stay at 1 and 2. But I do believe that that the Spurs and the Thunder are like they're like 1 and 1A, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it can flip flop because the Spurs have become a big unit and have become a player. So I mean, I'm not even gonna put a take like that on it. I'm just gonna speak as a fan to finish it off. I hope it happens, and I hope we get 7 games of just entertaining basketball. But that's the only thing I would say is that it's hard to beat a team 8 times in one season. Much like the equivalent of football. If you play a division rival in the conference final championship or, wild card or whatever, and you beat them twice, now they're honing in on you. You know what I'm saying? It's a little different, but it's the same. It's hard to beat a team 3 times.
I'll say this, and that'll be the end for me. It is hard to beat a team 8 times, but sometimes that team just got your number.
That's true too.
So that X factor is Wemby. That alien out there in Area 51, listen, he's the truth. He hit that game-winning shot. Look, we don't see a lot of 7 foot plus players that can pull up and hit that kind of shot and be clutch like that. And he's been playing incredible the whole entire season. If he's healthy, I'm telling you, they could beat OKC if they match up against them in the playoffs.
Chet better step his defensive game up is all I'm saying.
Exactly.
So, go ahead, Will, or R&B. I know you guys wanted to get in, so go. Whoever wants to go.
I'll step in real quick. I'll just say, like I said, I disagree on the fact that the Lakers, OKC, comment as far as like the Lakers being able to take out OKC because of the lack of veteran leadership. I feel like they're building their own veteran leadership while by going deep in the playoffs. The amount of years that they've went these past few and becoming an NBA champion last year. That is, what we call trajectory, and the trajectory shows that, not only are they building their own veteran leadership, but they're younger and they have the youth and they're more scrappy. They're deeper than the Lakers are. So I totally disagree with that point. I think OKC definitely is the odds-on favorite in the West right now. I don't see anybody, particularly that could take them outside of San Antonio. Um, that's just my personal opinion. Uh, I've thrown this team out there before as a dark horse. Don't sleep on the Minnesota Timberwolves and Anthony Edwards. You know what I'm saying? I like the way he turns it up when the playoffs come around. But outside of those teams, I don't think anybody got anything for OKC. And they definitely the clear favorite.
Go ahead, Will.
Um, I don't. I think between OKC, San Antonio, Houston, Denver, Minnesota, those 6 teams in the West, I really feel like it's just a roll of the dice. Uh, whether we talking about health, we talking about playoff matchups, because you know what I mean. Styles make fights, matchups matter. You know what I'm saying? Uh, so in the vacuum, I would say yeah, KC will be like my Williams been hurt on this season. You know what I'm saying? Started the season missing, I think they first 32 games or something to that effect because of the wrist surgery or whatever. Now he's dealing with what is like a hamstring, right? Uh,
Who's that?
Shea, I think Shea is dealing with the hamstring.
no, not
No,
not
no, 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 not Shea. With
No,
Jalen
Jay
Williams. Jay
Will. Yeah,
Williams.
Jay Williams. Yep.
Williams. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like they need him in the
Mm-hmm.
playoff. I agree
Mm-hmm.
with R&B in the regards that, like, they pretty much everybody on this team is a champion with a couple of exceptions. So I can't subscribe to the notion that they don't have experience. You know what I'm saying? Because even with all the injuries that they done had over the course of this season, um, Presti is a motherfucking magician, man, and he always got talent that people wasn't necessarily expecting. You know what I mean? To end up coming through in some kind of way. I know last year was his first time winning the championship for as long as you know what I mean. A general manager, I guess around almost 20 years now, but he is, in my opinion, the best general manager in the league right now. He got that roster loaded. So it wouldn't surprise me, you know, if they did make defend their title and make another championship run. But also, too, I do have concerns about, again, Shea been bumped and bruised this year. Williams done, you know what I mean? He played less than half the season. Chet is always an injury concern. You know what I
Hey, get
mean?
that fuck up out of here, dog. I ain't thought of shit.
Pull up on that nigga,
So
dog.
I'm gonna say like
Tell
with
him
them
ain't gonna start.
on the champion, I'm not gonna just, but I got my questions and my concerns about them. Houston, they need a point guard that's not gonna fucking materialize out of nowhere at this point. That's my concern with them. Come playoff time, you need somebody that can run your offense and get somebody a good look. So
Shit.
that's my issue with them. Um, when it comes to the Lakers, I've been telling y'all, like, I ain't saying they're gonna win a championship, but it wouldn't surprise me if they, and now we kind of starting to see them, you know what I mean, come into, you know what I mean, they best possible selves moving forward. Um, Minnesota, my concern with them is never Ant. They need Gobert to be able to be his best self, but again, depending on matchups, we done seen him win Defensive Player of the Year and then get played off the fucking court in the playoffs. Like that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like all of these teams in Denver, injuries. You know what I mean? Like it's all. That's what I'm saying. It wouldn't surprise me, and I'm not trying to take the easy way out. I'm just saying nothing would surprise me amongst these 16 right here. You know what I mean?
Right, you good.
somebody had an injury that, you know what I mean, caused them to be out in the first round of the playoffs, it wouldn't surprise me if these teams ended up in the finals and won a championship. You know, but I feel like they all got some kind of valid reason that we can look at them and say, like, yeah, I can see that. Not that I would bet on it, you know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, I can see that, and I will. Like I said, I guess that's kind of. I wouldn't really bet on anybody over there right now because of all of these different variables that are at play right now in the Western Conference.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it can go any way, and I mean, we'll have to see how it really goes from there, because OKC definitely has an injury issue, so it's going to play a role this time. Just like any injury for any major player this time of year is going to cause an issue. Um, but the Lakers, we brought up the Lakers kind of in there. Just want to kind of branch off of that because Raj wanted to talk about. You want to talk about Luka and LeBron? What were your thoughts on what they're doing now, Raj?
I I think they figured it out. And I've been very, very critical on LeBron for the past few seasons um, because of his ways of pretty much being ball centric, and that's who he is as a player, you know. And I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying as far as adjusting in his like his twilight of his career and moving to that place where he can pretty much be a secondary option or you know somebody that can be helpful on the defensive end instead of just the offensive end. But I honestly believe with this, like I think it's a 5 or 6 game winning streak that they're on, that they figured it out. They figured out how to implement LeBron into their plans, and we got to give JJ Redick uh, a lot of credit because JJ, I never seen him as a good coach. I think he was probably more or less like a friend hire because LeBron did a podcast with him and he threw him in the position of being a coach. But he's managed all these egos. He managed LeBron's ego, Luca's ego, and even Austin Reeves and what's his name, DeAndre Aiden. He even managed Aiden's ego and helped them understand that they have to work as a team in order for them to win. So with that being said, Luka's on a tear. He had a 60 point game the other night. They know what they got to do to win games now. They figured it out. And I'm not saying that they're like a, a guarantee contender, but they're a scary team. That's why I said they're a dark horse. So I just wanted just to point that out that I think the Lakers have figured out how to use LeBron in this part of his career instead of having him being the number one guy with the ball. And they allow Luka to kind of take the steering wheel and drive the car. So that's all I got to say.
I'm gonna jump in real quick.
Go ahead.
I agree with you, but kind of in reverse. I feel like LeBron had to understand that this is what his role needs to be for this team.
Okay.
You know, and I'm
But
not, I'm,
hey,
I'm not disagreeing with you that like that was always
they got
the
to
best.
keep playing like
You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like LeBron had to sit and he done missed some games this year. He's not even gonna be eligible for all NBA and all of that kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because he more games than ever. But again, he's 42, 43 years old. I feel like him, Luca, he like nobody was questioning Luca, right? Like he
Mm-hmm.
was already prepared once Luca got there to kind of, I ain't gonna say day one, but I think he kind of at some point, kind of made it right as a matter like shit, this is Luca, so I gotta kind of, take a step over to the next chair over. I don't think I'm a fan of Austin Reeves. Again, outside of Austin Reeves and maybe some people in that Lakers organization, I don't know if anybody was ready for Austin Reeves to come out and look like a possibly first, second team All NBA player before he started struggling with injury issues this year. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And I feel like again, LeBron missing games and watching it. I feel like at some point he kind of understood, like, okay, damn, I thought I was gonna be the number two guy. Now maybe I need to slide over to this.
Yeah.
And remember, I was saying a few weeks back, like if LeBron don't have to be the ball dominant guy, end all be all of the offense anymore. LeBron is smart enough. Luca is smart enough. Austin Reeves is smart enough so that LeBron can get, and this is what we've been seeing these last couple of weeks. LeBron getting leak outs, he getting backdoor cuts for oops. Like, you don't have to dominate the ball anymore. You are still athletic enough and good enough that, you know what I mean, you can easily get you 15 to 20, you know what I'm saying, without really having to do a whole lot. And come playoff time, again, now we're not leaning on you the way we did before for everything offensively. And, now you got a little more juice on the defensive end too, because you don't have to control the offense as much. So when I kept telling y'all, like, look, I'm not saying they're going to win a championship, but it wouldn't surprise me if they figure this shit out. Like, again, I'm still not sitting here saying they're going to win a championship, but I guess we seeing them kind of figure out what the best possible version of this team can be. And they got too much high basketball IQ on that team for them not to figure it out.
Right.
Yeah, I think that, it just takes time with anything, right? Like, people still to this day have this idea that once a trade happens, it's going to click like that. It's just going to work. And I don't understand that. Like, chemistry isn't built overnight. It takes time. I like, especially with like basketball. Like, like you can put certain players into football and it'll transition quite quickly, mainly because you have less time to figure it out. Like, especially if it's like a mid-season trade, you have, before the trade deadline, you have less time to figure it out. You have to come in and be effective at your position. Only you control your position in football, right? Basketball, like, you do, but now that basketball has become more positionless, a little more, you got to build within the flow of your team and where you fit. So people still have that criticism that it's supposed to, okay, he's there now, it's got to click. But I think they have created a chemistry that works. I mean, yeah, shout out to JJ Redick, but there's still a liability defensively, um, regardless, because that's what's been the issue all season. Like, yeah, they're winning now and their defense is a little better, but ultimately, can you say that they can do that 4 times in a row? In a 7-game stretch. That's the question, because now chemistry and offense can only take you so far, right? When it comes down to that nitty gritty, you talking a game 6 or 7. If you in game 6 to close it out, or be closed out on, you're gonna have to play defense, and I don't know if I can trust them to play defense, especially the longer a series goes. Like, if the way they're playing now, offense is going, clicking, bing, bang, boom, we good.
But can I say
Their
something real
their
quick?
their defensive presence has been better. These past few weeks here. Now, if you want to say that you don't trust that they'll be able to continue that and keep it up, then I can't really argue with you against it. But as far as since the All Star break, they're one of the better defensive teams in the league. So,
That's what I was
what I'm saying, and we're heading into the playoffs. So we all know one thing when it comes to the playoffs, any sport, you want to be clicking on all cylinders at what you
Absolutely.
need to be clicking on all cylinders with. And right now, they got that going.
I thought he was on the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can. Hey, we gonna see. We
Yeah,
gonna
we'll see.
see.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
I'm
gonna.
not ruling them out as contender. That's what I'm saying. It's like a dark horse. You know what I'm saying? It's not guaranteed, but it's a team that you want to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely can't sleep.
So
No. So we spoke. So we got to flip it to the Eastern Conference here. And whoever wants to go first, either you, Will, or R&B. How does Cade's injury, which couldn't come at a worse time, how does that affect? And I'm reading he's gonna be out like 2 weeks, which isn't long, but isn't short either. How does Cade's injury affect what Detroit is doing now. Because
You want me to
they've
go
been.
first?
Well, you are R&B, but he's on mute. So if you want to,
Now I'm asking R&B. You want to go first, or you want me to go?
What?
You can take this one first.
Um, Obviously nobody is excited about this shit, right? Like, but what I will say is what this team has shown us over the course of the season is that because we've had all kind of people missing time for all kind of different reasons, whether it's for injuries, whether it's for the fight that happened and suspensions, and
right?
what most part has happened is, and again, I think I said this to y'all at one point. I'm not saying they're equivalent to OKC, but they kind of remind me of OKC in that we go probably at least 9, 10 deep. We really do.
Okay.
It's not a whole lot of obviously we can't replace Cade when Cade is out of the game, but we've won a bunch of games. Let me see exactly what the record is, but you know what I mean? It's not like we fall apart when Cade is out of the lineup because everybody else kind of steps up, you know what I mean, into a different role when they need to. I think that is going to benefit us right now with this time that Cade is out. And I think it can be beneficial leading into the playoffs. I think we up 5. It's either 4 or 5 games on Boston right now. As
4 games. I'm looking
as
at
long
it.
as
Four
long as
games.
we hold on to that number one seed, I think this in a roundabout way can be beneficial. You know what I mean? Get everybody confidence up, leading into the playoffs. So that again, because come playoff time, that the rotation is probably gonna get cut down to 7, 8 players. It's probably not gonna look the way it does in the what I mean in the regular season. But when you do need to call on somebody, they've already done it. You know what I mean? They've been doing it over the course of the season. So I don't think it's like the sky is falling. You know what I mean? And with something like this, even if he come back in 2 weeks, I don't think that Cade is necessarily going to be like 100%. You know what I'm saying? Going into the playoffs, but I feel like everything that's happened this season is it's kind of built to this moment for the rest of the roster to kind of be ready. You know what I mean? In a certain kind of way. So again, obviously I'm not happy about it. I'm not thrilled about the shit. But as long as they can hold on to that, that number one seed and, K get right and as healthy as he need to be to get back out on the court, I think we can weather this. I don't think it's I don't think we got to ring the alarm. I don't think it's a disaster.
Mm. Okay. Okay. What about you, R&B?
So I agree with pretty much every sentiment that bro speaks comes to the situation, but I do want to add a little bit more to it though, and shine a different light in a different area, and just basically what I'm getting at is that this is what we all were kind of talking about, you know what I'm saying? Myself, Will, others, when we were saying that, at the trade deadline, we were clamoring for them to try to go out and just add another piece, you know what I'm saying? That could be a valuable second option, you know what I'm saying? Not that we don't respect Jalen Duren and what he's doing this season, you know what I'm saying? Becoming one of the best big men in the league right now. But we are have to look objectively at what we watch. As much as we love our team, we seen a lack there of another bucket getter, someone else that we can get a ball to when it's keying in on Cade and say, hey man, you know what I'm saying, it ain't going tonight. We need you. Take us there. You know what I'm saying? It didn't have to be a superstar. Hell, if they had went out and got somebody like a CJ McConnell, you know what I'm saying, who's a, so I would say maybe he's about a all-star, maybe just under all-star tier type player. You know what I'm saying? That's all we really felt like we truly needed to complete this whole thing.
And
And outside of that, oh my bad. Go ahead. You were saying something?
my bad. I was just saying, and he would compliment Cade. We've seen him play next to
Yeah, he would compliment Cade.
Star.
Definitely.
No, he can compliment Cade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But and just to finish off, we all know what a collapse lung is. And that's what we were kind of talking about. You know what I'm saying? Them fuck around and, you know what I'm saying, wearing him out going into the playoffs or before the playoffs even could get here. And that's exactly what we seeing in the collapse long. He's tired. He's tired. He's had you know what I'm saying? And that's nothing against because Will is right. We are about 9 to 10 deep. But when you about 9 to 10 deep and you only got one dude capable of truly driving the ship, that can come back to bite your ass. You need a co-captain. You gotta have a co-captain. Jalen Duren is a good general manager, but we need a co-captain above him.
Mm. I'll say, you got 4 games on the Celtics, and they've been playing pretty good ball. They were playing good before, but Tatum's return is really give them a little more of a
Definitely giving them some juice.
yeah, like there's like another like layer or something to it because he's come back in and just is really acclimated quite quickly. So I'll say with the 4-game lead, I think if you guys, I do believe that the Pistons have enough to hold the ship. But like I agree with you, Will, in the sentiment that now this can say to your players, get them ready and say, okay, like get them ready and get them acclimated for the playoffs and make them stronger.
We've
Hopefully,
seen that with OKC, right? Where players out with injuries or whatever, and they had players that came in and step into those roles in the regular season, and then come playoff time when they needed them, they were ready. As young as that team is.
yeah. So I think that they'll be able to hold it. And like you said, this is a kind of injury. Collapsed lung is serious. I mean, they're saying 2 weeks, but that's not something you want to rush back from.
Right.
Uh, and you want to make sure you're ready. And if the cost of being ready is missing the remainder of the regular season, so be it. Because even if you do fall a couple spots, you're gonna want to be ready for the playoffs. So I think that the Celtics, Jesus Christ, the Pistons have more than enough and can do enough to hone the ship. Um, but it is a bad blow at a bad time.
Yeah.
Because
I feel like it's time for Tobias to, and when I say this, it's not a knock on what he's been doing, but now we need him to step up. You know what I'm saying? And be that leader that kind of, obviously not asking him to be Cade, but we need him to step up into a role. And if he step up into the role we need him to be in right now, then everybody else down the roster, again, we need them to step up too, but what we're asking them to do is not as much. You know what I'm saying? But Tobias is supposed to be like the veteran leader on this team. I ain't saying he got to go out there and average 25 to 30, but we need him right now to be the guy that kind of understands and figures out what we need, on any given night moving forward until K gets back.
well, Tobias Harris to me has always been a guy that has always been paid like an all-star, but hasn't been able to perform on an all-star consistency, if that makes sense. Like he's gotten a couple big contracts uh, over his career, but he just hasn't. There just hasn't been consistency for him. That's my only knock on him.
You know what? I feel like Tobias has been who Tobias is for a long time. But I feel like he's one of those guys that, depending on what team you're on, you might make an all-star team, you might not. Robert Parrish, Horace Grant. Like again, players who are really, really, and Robert Parrish is in the fucking Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? But
Absolutely.
Robert Parrish was never going to lead a team to an NBA championship. But played at such a high level in the role that team needed him to play in, he made it to the Hall of Fame. Horace Grant made an all-star team, and you know what I'm saying, won 3 championships. But if Horace Grant was on some other team, it's a good chance that he'd have made 3-4 all-star teams. Like I feel like Tobias is one of those kinds of guys. Because some guys do make all-star teams, you know what I mean, based on where their situation is. If you're the third best player on a team that's on the 60 win pace, you know what I'm saying, you might get bumped up, you know what I mean, as opposed to somebody who's obviously a better player, but on a losing team. So I feel like Tobias is kind of one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? He's all-star caliber. And look, it took Mike Conley how long to make an all-star team? And that wasn't like his best career year. You know what I'm saying? But he was competing with Steph, Dame, Russ, and all these other players, and that's just for the point guard spot. Like, you know what I mean? So I think some of it is situational. I think he's in that range where I think he's all-star caliber, even though
Mhm.
he made an all-star team. He's not a player that's going to be your best player. Maybe not even
Yeah,
your best player, but as your third best player, you know what I'm saying? He had some really good years in Philly. They just couldn't get out the second fucking round, and that wasn't his fault. So
Yeah,
true, true. What do you got to add to it, Raj, about the Cade injury, brother?
man. I hope that he gets back very very soon and healthy, of
Say
course.
something?
100%. But it's unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? It's really unfortunate. Came at the wrong time. But I also feel like it could be a blessing in disguise because it gives them opportunity to figure out other options. You know what I'm saying? Because if they if they if they can figure out how to get a second, third option become a first and second option, then they can pretty much take the East because the East is wide open. When Cade comes back healthy, he's going to be that addition that's going to take him over the top. But I think if they can find a way to have their role players step in and just step the game up, that goes to show them like they could be the best team in the East. Because I don't think there's another team outside of Boston that's better. Um, you got the Knicks, of course, but I don't believe in them. And the other team in the East, you got like the Magic, and you got the other teams like that's on the bubble of being good. They don't really have a good Eastern Conference this year. So I think that they can definitely um, go to the Eastern Conference with no problem. They might, bump heads with, like I said, the Boston Celtics, but it shouldn't be that much of a challenge. And that's what happens during the regular season. You have these type of injuries where it might derail you for a couple of weeks, or 2 or 3 weeks, or 4 weeks, or even a month. So it depends, how you look at it. You can look at it as being, of course, it's the wrong time, or you can look at it as being this is the right time for us to start gearing up for our role players to take that next step.
Right, because I look at it like I'm looking at the Eastern Conference standings, and realistically, it's Detroit, Boston, and the Knicks. That's who we're looking at.
That's
I mean,
it.
it's no disrespect to Cleveland, but we know Cleveland's going to be Cleveland. And anyone else underneath that, like they're just there. Like I'm just that's just the truth. So when
Yep.
I look at it, it's Detroit, Boston, and the Knicks. Those are the three teams that we're all paying attention to. And I just think that, you know, the only team that Detroit has to worry about is Boston.
Oh,
Because, once Jalen Brown learned how to go left, and yeah, because me and Rod we used to harp on him because he
yep.
that nigga would not go left, bro, for
For
nothing.
nothing. He wouldn't even dribble with his left hand.
Like, he would not go left. And then, and like people used to say it's BS when we would say that. But then they started saying it on ESPN because you know how it is.
Yep.
They people don't want to believe it until ESPN says it, and I'm
Exactly.
just like, bro, the man really don't go left. Like, but he started, and he's worked with I don't know if you guys I follow him. There's a guy online, his name's Lethal Shooter, and he be making these crazy shots.
Hmm.
He be all over. He'd be like, "Y'all gonna learn." Oh. And then he'll once he shot from a boat and he missed, and he goes, "I understand it now." And then he shoots again and makes it. Y'all gonna learn. I see you in my comments. His energy's crazy. And then like they interview him and he's cool. Like, yeah, man, I just love training people. I'm like, dang, bro. To talk about 0 to 100. But he's worked with it. He's trained a lot of guys to help them with their shots. And I've seen video of Jalen Brown working with him. So the Celtics are definitely, to me, even though they're number two, they're a dark horse, man. They're
no, they
they're because people aren't really talking about them. They're talking about them, but they're not, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So R&B, you got anything you want to add to this topic, brother? I don't think you got in here. Oh, that's weird. It says he's there, and now it says he's entering the stage. Oh, you there, bro?
No,
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, you were.
I was trying to send this link over. Somebody was trying to challenge Will, and they wanted to go through third party. And I said, no, I need to come challenge them yourself.
Well, it's hard to hear you.
Yeah,
you kind of muffled, bro. Say that again.
I said, I'm here. I was trying to send a link to somebody. Somebody was trying to challenge Will's points on the Pistons and Tobias Harris, and they was trying to do it through third party, and I'm like, nah, nigga, bring your ass on in here. If you got something, you got want to challenge somebody on something, bring your ass in here.
ooh,
I don't think they're going. I don't think they're going to man up in the fucking. This shit keep cutting me out, though. It got me to hit twice. Do y'all see that?
yeah. I'm
No, it's
trying to
hard.
get one of them moved. Okay. Ah, damn it! I removed the wrong one. Oh, hold on. Because I couldn't tell which one was which. You know what? Remove them both. He's just gonna have to come back in. Remove them both, because now I'm confused. Because I just it was a 50-50 chance I was picking the right one. Because it didn't specify. Because his pictures, he's not on camera. Okay, so there he is. All right, I had to boot you all together, bro, because I couldn't figure out which one was right. So
Fuck you.
I got a hell of an echo. Shit, terrible. I don't know why I was acting like this today. Probably because I'm using my phone.
shit happens, bro. It's all good. So before we get to the small forward list, we gotta talk about Tom Brady. Right now, it's Tom Brady versus WWE. Tom Brady versus Skip Bayless, and what was the other one, Raj? Because I wrote WWE.
Oh, flag football. He played flag football over yesterday.
So I'll say what I read. Tom Brady said that wrestling is cute, but it's scripted, which is true, and it's fake. It's not like football. And he was taking some shots at WWE, and they taking some shots back. So what happened with the flag football and Skip Bayless?
Well, I don't know about the Skip Bayless thing, but I know in the flag football, Jalen Hurts, Tom Brady, and some other quarterbacks, and it was the guys versus Team USA for the flag football went up against each other in a like a round robin type matchup.
Yeah,
Can you guys hear me?
yeah, that's whatever noise R&B has in the back.
Yeah.
When you
R-
say Team USA, you talk about the people that's about to be in the Olympics because we about to
yes.
have flag football in the Olympics, right?
Yes, the flag
Okay.
football Olympic team, Team USA flag football team, went up
Okay.
against some professionals. Some NFL players like Tom Brady, Jalen Hurts. I know Odell Beckham was out there. I think D Hop was out there. I don't know. There's so many like NFL players that went up against. You had Logan Paul, which was there as well. He played on one of the flag football teams. Anyway, they
Diggs was
got
out
blown
there.
out.
Gronk, my
They
wife
got
said.
blown. They got blown out. And if you go back and look at the highlights, it wasn't even close. Um, NFL football is different than flag football, and I'm not saying that like one's better than the other. But when I can't remember the gentleman's name, he played on a lot of the Goodwill game Olympic teams for flag football. He said it. He said he's better than Patrick Mahomes when it comes down to this flag football thing. And honestly, I think he's right. I think he's right, and I hate to say it. I know football's football, but flag football is different than actual contact football.
So
And
wait, so the
Tom,
flag football team blew off the NFL players,
yes, that is correct.
but wait, wait,
All the NFL teams.
but these are also football players who are basically retired or not. Like I know B Hop was just with the Ravens or whatever, and
Yeah,
but like, but this is not the top active NFL players that they playing
which
against.
which is correct.
Okay,
However,
okay.
however, to see somebody play flag football like Tom Brady and actually struggle was very interesting. That's my point of bringing up Tom Brady because Tom Brady's super ultra competitive. He
Mm.
stays in good shape. He's always ready, but he got blown out. Their team got blown out, and I'm not saying it was all his fault, but damn it, we need to start talking about flag football because this is a real opportunity. Like this shit is really happening right now, and it's going to be in the Olympics in 2028. So that's why I wanted to bring it up because Tom Brady was kind of pissed off about that. He said that he didn't really like the fact that his team was playing like trash. So Tom Brady been having a very interesting week.
The, the Skip Bayless thing was Skip was on with Gilbert and them. You know what I'm saying? And what Skip was talking about was that being that Tom Brady is part owner of the Raiders now, basically he feel like he can't be completely honest as you know what I mean a media person. You know what I mean calling games.
Right.
Because there's certain conflicts of interest that come into play. And basically, but what Skip was saying was like, Tom Brady is he felt like Tom Brady is coming for him. I don't think he said his name out loud, but whatever it was Tom Brady said, Skip felt like, Brady was directing it at him. And Skip is basically like, and look, I am no fucking Skip apologist. Just so I'm clear. I'm just saying what I heard him
Yeah.
saying. But Skip is basically on some like, yeah, I've been riding for you and, put your name out here, whatever, whatever. So when I do want to be able to critique you about something, I feel like it shouldn't be a big deal or an issue. You know what I'm saying? Um, and that's, like I say, that it's time is juggling a lot this week. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Time is juggling a lot this week. So
yeah.
that was the essence of, that part of, the Tom Brady week.
It's like, bro,
Um,
you're
say,
retired. Just shut up. Call
I'll,
call your games that you're
I'm,
scheduled
But
to call.
look,
but
oh,
what
look,
Support
I
I'm
your
will
gonna
team.
make all of mine real on
I
all
will
three.
say I will say this. Tom Brady did say he'll come out of retirement if necessary to play in the Olympics for flag football. So I just want to throw that out there.
Oh
I'm,
God,
I'm,
no.
I'm, I'm gonna touch on all three of these real quick. I'm gonna make it quick and make it short. In
That.
regard in regards to him and Skip, um, I think Skip need to quit acting like a little bitch. Because when you want, whenever somebody got something to say about you, you know what I mean. Again, it's that media shit. I'm just doing my job. Like, no, fuck that. Like, you know what I'm saying. You get to get critiqued just like these athletes do. You know what I'm saying. You're not above reproach. So fuck Skip Bayless. I just thought that was
Yeah.
interesting. So I just thought that was interesting. In regards to the flag football, I'm a believer that if bottom of the roster NFL players trained for that shit, they would smoke whoever the fuck is the US team right now. The US team is a US team. They can't make it to the NFL. I don't feel like Tom Brady and B Hop and whoever else was out there had really been like training for this shit like the US team is training leading up to these Olympics. So you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like if you go get friend roster players from the NFL, they would kill whoever those fucking flag football players is. And that's not me trying to hate on them. But again, if they playing flag football, that probably mean they couldn't get. And then in WWE, I think that shit is work. they planning something together. And it's gonna be something that happened. He probably gonna show up to one of these, you know what I mean? I know we not calling them pay-per-views no more. They're with premium events. You know,
PLEs.
what the fuck it is you want to call it. I feel like it's a work. You know what I
Could
mean?
be.
And I ain't mad at it. I just don't think it's real. But I would say to Tom Brady, let one of them motherfuckers power bomb you on the goddamn announcer's table and see how you feel after it. You know, I
Yeah,
know I know it's designed to break down and fall apart, but that shit
but it
still don't.
still hurt.
It still doesn't feel good. So go ahead, my nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Let let let
If you
let
really about
oh
to go ahead, bro. Shit.
let Obafemi power bomb you like he did Brock Lesnar this past Monday. See how you feel.
He's
Shit.
going. He's going to need a lot of avocados after that.
Hey, tell me how that TB12 working for you. Say, you know what I'm saying? Shit after that. Tell me
Because
that shit.
because even Logan Paul, and I don't like him on the camera, but I do kind of like his podcast. You know, um, he's got good guests, and he's actually not that bad in that setting. So he was saying like when he started, he thought the mat was soft, and when he was training, he had said to like whoever he's training with, like, all right, well, where's the real mat? They're like, what are you talking about? He goes, it's not, this is it, like it's not soft, because it looks like, listen, I've been in a real wrestling ring and taken a bump like they do, and you need training for that. Like, Tom Brady, yes, is a trained athlete, but that kind of training is not the same training as NFL training. Like you got to be like, you have to like be like trained for torture, like for real, because that mat, and I'm like, bro, these guys take these bumps off these long mats, these high heights and stuff, like it hurts. I don't care what no one says. Just because it's predetermined, like the stuff that
Hey,
they do,
that,
they
that,
really doing that.
that 5-star frog splash probably hurt RVD more than it did his opponent. You know what I'm
You
saying?
know,
You seen him bounce up and grab the ribs like, oh shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, shit.
Oh man, you right about that. You
Man,
definitely right about that.
I say this real quick. And and I don't want to step on R&B time. I'll say this. If we were talking about a running back, a D lineman, a linebacker, an O lineman, something like that, I can see them, and we've seen it with like The Rock and you know what I mean. Basically, his whole fucking family played football for the most part. You know what I'm saying? But we've seen it with them. Quarterbacks are protected in a certain kind of way. I
Exactly.
I
He
don't
not
think
willing to take a
quarterbacks is
hit.
ready for that shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they're ready for that shit.
No, he's not.
mm.
He's not.
You got anything to add to this topic, R&B?
I think he muted. I think he muted, bro.
He just came back in. He can hear us. We just can't hear him.
He
Maybe he
muted.
is
Yeah,
talking.
I think he muted.
Hmm. Oh, there he is.
All right.
He unmuted himself, but
All right.
but
We go. You want to get to the list?
yeah. I'll be the grader. So, and I'll write all everyone's list down. So,
All
and
right.
that's the last thing for the day, and then till next Sunday. So,
Yep.
let me just do this.
Small forwards, right?
Yeah.
Small
Small forward.
forwards. Yep.
All right. You want to start?
Hold,
Will.
hold on, real quick. I'm just numbering every.
Oh, okay. 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 Got you.
And then I left. All right. So everyone, does anyone have any honorable mentions?
Yeah. Any honorable mentions? Get them out the way.
Most
Oh,
most definitely. My honorable mentions are, and some for different reasons. Bernard King, you know what I mean, one of them guys who everybody know was a killer, but knee injuries sabotaged his career. But certified killer. Um, Adrian Dantley, former Piston, who didn't get to win a championship with us, but is a Hall of Famer. Scored, I think, like 25,000 points in the league off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Paul George, never felt like he was the number one guy, you know what I mean, quote unquote. But I feel like he could have been one of the best number twos if injuries didn't, you know what I mean, sabotage that Clippers thing. Never liked the fit in OKC with him and Russ. I wasn't a fan of that. But one of the best I've seen. Jimmy Butler, who has probably exceeded expectations more than almost any other player I could think of. If I think about it hard enough, I could probably think of somebody else. But you know what I mean? Guy that was a late first round pick. Nobody really expected him to end up being a Hall of Fame caliber player. Um, took two Miami teams that probably didn't have no business in the finals to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of respect for him. Mark Aguirre, which who did win two championships with us, but was averaging 14, 15 when he got here, but was cooking magic in the Lakers for 26, 28 points a game for years and years and years with the Dallas Mavericks. Um, and then G Hill, um, probably my third favorite player of all time that I ever got to watch play because I got to see his healthy years here in Detroit. We all know, you know what I mean, what that ended up being after the ankle injury and, you know what I mean, the rest of his career, the staph infection, all of that, and still made a solid career for himself. But healthy G Hill, Detroit G Hill, unquestionably one of the best players I've ever seen with my own two eyes. Obviously gonna fall lower on the greatest list, you know what I'm saying, for reasons, but just best players I've ever seen. I'm a firm believer that as much as people compare LeBron to Magic and Jordan, I feel like LeBron is Grant Hill 2.0, bigger, faster, stronger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He just he just ain't had a handle that G had, but everything else, you know what I'm saying? He was just elevated in that way. That's how I look at LeBron. So G Hill is definitely, you know what I mean, one of my honorable mentions.
Okay. What about you, Raj?
Uh, two honorable mentions, no shade, but Paul Pierce. Um, just because he's from Boston, I put him on my list. Could he play for Boston? Fuck Paul Pierce.
Go,
I'm not
Rob.
fuck.
Let's
I,
go, Rob.
you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. But he's definitely supposed to be on my list. He's supposed to because he won a championship. But man, f him. Um, and also Robert Ory. I gotta put him on my honorable mentions because I feel like he should be top 10, but he's not. He's not. You know, 7 rings. Big Shot Bob. You know, helped a lot of these organizations like the Rockets, the Spurs, the Lakers win championships, but never was mentioned in top 10, even though he hit the biggest shots in the game. But I have to put him as an honorable mention. So those are my two honorable mentions.
I respect it. I definitely respect it.
Okay, okay. Well, God, whoever wants to go number 10.
I'll go first. Number 10, I got Grant Hill. I had to put him on the list because of everything that Will said. Um, he was one of my favorite players growing up. Watching him. So Grant Hill.
Okay.
Um, I'm cheating a little bit this week, but I got my reasons. I got two people tied at 10. I'm not doing 4 and 5. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not doing all of that, but I got two tied at 10. And again, I be Raj. A lot of times, I understand exactly where you coming from in your list, but I also understand what Ryan be saying about the history. So the reason I have people tied at 10, I have John Havlicek from the Boston Celtics, 7-time NBA champion, all-time leading scorer for the Boston Celtics franchise. So not Larry Bird, not Paul Pierce, not you know what I mean. All these other all-time greats, not Bill Russell, is John Havlicek. Didn't get to see him play, but I understand, you know what I mean, the greatness, you know
History
what
of
I
it.
mean, that he brings to the
Did,
table.
didn't didn't he win like 8 championships?
Seven,
Seven.
seven
Okay.
or 7 or 8. It's 7 or 8. He
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
there beginning with Russell, but you know what I'm saying. And then even after Russell retired, I think he won another two or something like that. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Mhm.
Him,
I
and Dave,
knew.
if I remember right, him and Dave Collins, that those teams won another championship or two after Russell retired.
Okay.
Mhm.
Uh, Again, you know how I be on my fuck Boston shit, which is why I appreciated what you said about P Double, and he
Yeah.
gonna end up on my list. I'm gonna explain why when I get to him.
I get
Uh,
it.
but ultimate respect. And then Rick Barry, won the championship, led Golden State to a championship in the late '70s.
Mhm.
In that weird kind of space in the NBA after the merger, where you know what I mean, the talent kind of thinned out some, so it wasn't teams dominating like it was in the '50s, '60s, and the early '70s or whatever. But like I think he was like a 28, 29 point a game dude. You know what I'm saying? Um, one of the greatest to ever do it. You know what I mean? I respect their time. You know what I mean? And their so that's why I got them tied at number 10.
Okay.
Okay. All
And
right.
also he had one of the best free throws ever.
Oh, that underhanded, the grandma shot.
The grandma shot.
Yep. And hey, look, and produced what? At least what 3 sons that played in the NBA, right?
Yep. Yep.
John Berry, Rick Berry, and I think it was another one that had a
Brent
couple.
Berry.
Yeah.
Brent Berry, yeah, yeah, had a cup of
Yeah.
coffee. Yeah,
Yep. 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 Yep.
Brent Berry was nice. Brent
Yeah.
Berry
Oh
was
yeah.
nice.
Yep.
And the first white boy to win the dunk contest. We can't
I
leave
was
that part
going to say that.
out.
Yeah. And he did his thing in the dunk contest. So
That's
can't
part of
be
Rick
mad at that.
Berry.
Yep.
You can go ahead, bro. You go first, and then I go after you.
Mike.
Oh no, I was supposed to
No,
grade. So
Oh, my bad. My bad. I didn't
yeah,
understand the assignment.
I don't have a
Oh,
list.
number nine. Number nine. My bad. Number nine. I got Dominique Wilkins. Man, what a legend. I can go on and on about his career, but 9-time All-Star. That's my guy, man. The human highlight reel.
Mhm.
Dominique Wilkins.
At 9, I do have a 3-way tie at 9 because I couldn't leave the
Damn.
no, but I couldn't leave the third person out because people don't be giving him the credit he deserves. So I
Right.
do have Meek at 9. I
Mm-hmm.
have James Worthy at 9. I think like a 7-time All-Star, something like that. Finals
Okay.
MVP, you know what I mean? For half of the 80s was the third best player on those Lakers teams, but it ended up being the second best player, you know what I'm saying, at some point when Kareem had to slide into that third spot. So again, it's fuck him because if he's talking bullshit about my bad boys, but basketball mind, I still gotta respect the body of work. He say the bad boys weren't the bad boys. He say the Celtics were the bad boys according to him, but fuck him.
That's a lie.
Um, but then Alex English.
Okay.
Um, led the 80s in scoring. So not Kareem, not Magic, not Jordan, not Bird, not Neek, not Barkley, not Dr. J, not Moses, not Alex English led the decade of the 80s in scoring. And I feel like that needs to be recognized. So he's, you know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? He's also at that 9 spot for me.
Okay. Number 8. Man, people disrespect him because they call him they call him just a scorer, somebody that shoots in a phone booth. I got to give it to my man Carmelo Anthony, 10-time All-Star, 6-time All NBA. Carmelo, number 8 for me.
Mhm. At number 8, I have Paul Pierce. Um, And the reason that he made my list was because even as a Boston Celtic, he turned me into a real Paul Pierce fan.
Okay.
Um, this was before KG and Ray Allen. I was fans of KG and Ray Allen separately. I was a fan of Milwaukee Ray Allen and Seattle Ray Allen. I was a fan of Minnesota, KG. But and probably because they wasn't a real threat to us at the time, and we weren't very good at the time. But
Right.
I remember one of my he like a big brother to me. He was in that 98 draft. He telling me about Paul Pierce. I had never seen him play like that. I didn't know who he was, but he like, nah, man, like I'm telling you, bro, that nigga gonna be cold. So I had an eye on him. And it's like, this nigga cold like that. Like he ain't the fastest, he ain't the most athletic, he ain't the most explosive,
He
but
know how
he
to score.
wherever he want to get in that series against Indiana, when he was sitting there rocking it back and forth, talking shit to Al Harrington and pulled up for the game. Like it was at that point, it was over for me. And Kobe being my second favorite player of all time, watching them battle in the finals. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Um, so I got a lot. As much as I be on my fuck boss and shit, and y'all know how I am. If he turned me into a fan of his, you know what I'm saying, in a Celtics uniform, he kind of get some extra credit points.
I got you. I got you. That makes sense.
Yeah, so I got P double at number 8. The truth.
All right. Number 7, I got, believe it or not, 2-time All-Star. I mean, 2-time All Defensive and 6 man. I got Cliff Robinson. A lot of people forget about Cliff.
Whiffy.
That was my guy. That was my guy. The coolest dude ever rocked a headband. Um, even though they didn't win a championship out there in Portland because they faced up against Jordan twice.
Right.
I feel like Jordan and what's his name? Drexler went head to head, but we also got to remember that Pippen and Cliff Robinson went head to head during
Mhm.
those series. So Bulls versus Blazers, that was one of my favorite series ever. So I got to give it to my man Cliff Robinson, number 7.
Former Piston, was one of the people who got here and helped turn us around after the Grant Hill years. A lot of respect for Uncle Cliffy. One of the
Okay.
earliest stretch bigs because he was 6'10" playing power forward. Small
Yep.
forward at one point.
That's small for it. Yeah.
Transitioned
Yep.
more to a power forward or whatever. But a lot of respect for that dude, man. Most definitely, I like
Yep.
that one. At 7, I thought he was gonna be higher on my list when I would just like initially started thinking about it, and then when I really kind of had to go back and think about it and do my homework and everything. Um, I never, off the top of my head, I never would have thought he would have ended up here, but it's still respectful because if he here, that just means the people ahead of him was like cold like that. But I got Melo at number 7. I feel
Okay.
like um, I feel like Melo. rem- Do y'all remember at one point people saying Dirk was a choker and he was never gonna win shit? You know what I'm saying? After they lost to Miami, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? In '06, you know what I mean? Like because he had talent around him. Steve Nash, Michael Finley, Van Exel was on some of them teams. Like he had Marquise Daniels. He had talent around him. You know what I mean? For a long time. I feel like it took for Dallas putting the right team around him for him to be able to win that championship. And I literally remember before that season started, and I'm not trying to get too far off, but I'm gonna make the Melo comparison when Dallas traded for Tyson Chandler from Charlotte at the beginning of that season,
Hmm.
I remember sitting there and saying, like, oh, like that's the perfect big man to put next to Dirk. You know what I mean? And now he got Jason Kidd, he got Jason Terry, he got Marquise Daniels. Karan Butler got hurt that season, but he was on that team. Like I just kind of remember feeling like, damn, like that team they got, it ain't that top heavy. And I never would have thought that they was gonna beat the Heatles. But I remember just being like, damn, they're gonna be dangerous. I
Yeah.
don't like Melo ever really got that.
No, he got the bad version of Stoudemire. He got the beat up version of Jason Kidd when he played with the Knicks. He got everybody that was used and abused by the time it got to him.
he he
Uh,
he didn't get prime Chauncey, but he still got
right.
a really, really, really good Chauncey.
Yeah,
And
that's what I
that's
was gonna
when
say.
they went to the conference finals and lost to the Lakers. But
Yeah.
Kmart was coming off of knee injuries before he got there, and they kept having knee injuries, so he never got prime Kmart. And not that Kmart didn't have good seasons there, you know what I'm saying?
And he was with AI.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? He played
man,
he played with everybody out there prime.
so I don't feel like he ever really got the team around him that he needed to
No.
just go out there and be his best self. Nobody was asking Dirk to go out there and block shots and you know what I'm saying and defend the
No,
rim
they
and
said they
that
just
shit.
said
Dirk.
just put up the points.
So I kind of put Dirk and Melo kind of in that same vein. You know, Dirk got
I
it done, so obviously
That's
he
fair.
gets the credit for getting it done. But I feel
That's
like
fair.
Melo's one of those players that, if given the right team around him, and it wouldn't have been a traditional team at the time that Melo was Melo. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It would have had to look different, just like that Dallas team, which is why I brought
Right.
that up. You know.
Right.
But yeah, I
Right.
got Melo at 7.
All right. Number 6, I got the claw, man. I got Kawhi Leonard, number 6. Um, Two-time NBA champion, two-time defensive player of the year. You know, I wish I could put him higher, but unfortunately I can't because you got some legends on the other. I mean, he's a legend too. He don't get it twisted, but I'm saying there's some like heavy hitters from 5 and above.
Yeah. Kawhi should have been in my honorable mention. I did forget to mention him in my honorable.
Damn.
Only reason he's not in my top 10. Again, same thing I said about Grant Hill. Like top 10 best I've ever seen,
Right.
but so many injuries, so much time missed. Even with
Yeah.
giving him the credit for winning a fucking championship for Toronto,
Yeah,
you
that
know,
was crazy.
man,
That's why I
like
had to put him at number 6 because he
uh,
carried that team.
I might have to throw him at 10. I might have to throw
Okay,
him at 10.
that's fair.
Uh, all things considered, all things considered. But at number 6, oh shit, I'm sorry, my screen just dropped. Hold on one second.
Yeah, no problem.
At 6, I got Scotty.
Okay.
Um, I thought I was gonna have him higher on my list because I'm a big, big Scotty fan.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of people like to drive that narrative, that word we keep talking about, that Mike was basically out here winning championships on his own and shit. And it's like, no, that's not true. That's not true at all. And if Mike is as great and this is not me trying to take any credit away from Mike, but if he was that dominant and he didn't have nobody around him, why they turn around and go, what was it, like 54-18 or something the next year, or 52-30, 54, whatever it was, but was like the second, third best team in the Eastern Conference, got to the second round. Like, you would think that the Bulls just would have fell off the fucking earth if
Yeah.
it was all about Mike. They had 3 All-Stars that year: Scotty, Horace Grant, BJ Armstrong.
Hmm.
So again, when I was talking earlier about sometimes it depends on what team you on, Horace Grant and BJ Armstrong, those are the only All-Stars they made. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But they
Hmm.
were always in that vicinity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Scotty was second in MVP voting that season. Um, I just don't feel like he get the credit that he deserved. You know what I mean, for everything he did. And before Scotty, most small forwards was still 6'9", 6'10", 6'11". Derek
Yeah.
McGee was 6'10" playing small forward. Detlef Shrimp was 6'11" playing small forward. John Hot Rod Williams was 6'10", 6'11" playing small forward for Cleveland. Like, the idea of what a small forward is nowadays, and even the idea of a 3 and D, that kind of, I'm not saying he was the very first player like that, but he kind of revolutionized the game
He
of
did.
that position. You know what I'm saying?
He created what Kawhi Leonard is. Exactly whatever Kawhi Leonard is was just
Him,
because of strictly
um,
because of Scottie Pippen.
Rondo, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh,
Yeah.
he revolutionized that. Like I
Yeah.
said, I'm not. He was the first, but he was like, after him, the small forward position started looking different.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. We at number 5 now.
Yep.
5.
Number 5, big game James. I got to give it to James Worthy, man. 3-time NBA champion, Finals MVP. Number 5, man. Number 5 for James Worthy. And I remember watching him. That was one of my first earliest memories of basketball, watching the Lakers, those Lakers.
Mm.
With Magic, Worthy, Kareem, even though Kareem was old as shit. Um, but looking back at LeBron, we're like, he ain't that old, you know what I'm saying? But like, but he looked old. He had the crazy hairline,
With
the double knee pads, the elbow pads. So we gotta give LeBron credit. Shout out to LeBron, man. I hate
man,
to do it because I'm not a LeBron dude like that, but he makes 40 something look 40 plus look good. So yeah, shout out to James Worthy as well. Number 5, I got James Worthy.
at number 5, I got Elgin Baylor. Um,
Okay, I don't know why I didn't put him on my list.
man, I don't care what era, what year, what decade, what version of the NBA. When you putting up 30 something and 14, 15 rebounds a night as a small forward in the era of the Giants, of the big men really dominating like that,
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
I,
That's
I,
true.
I don't care that he didn't end up winning the championship. Technically, he got one because that team with Jerry West, Wilt, the team that had that got the all time winning streak. You know what I mean? Record or whatever. I think they won like 32 straight or something that year.
Yeah.
After Elgin retired, because he retired early in that season or whatever. So
Right.
technically,
Right. Right.
he
Right.
got it because he was on that team at some point that season, but he wasn't really a part of it like that.
Right. Right. Right.
Was also going up against those Boston teams that had 5, 6 Hall of Famers on it. You know what I mean? And it's him and Jerry West trying to battle against
Yeah.
basically the dream team before the dream team. You know what I mean? So I respect everything
Yeah.
about him. The era that he played in, again, it was more difficult, way more challenging for them black men when you're talking about the 60s and the 70s and shit, you know what I mean? With the climate at the time. Like, to be able to go out there and perform in front of a bunch of people that really don't fuck with you no way. Like, all of that kind of matters to me. So I got the ultimate respect for Elgin and everything that he accomplished in the NBA.
Yeah. Yeah. Number 4, I got Scottie Pippen, 6-time NBA champ. I don't gotta go down the list, but Scotty's that dude, man. I had to put him at number 4. I really wanted to put him at number 3, but I also feel like I really couldn't because there's still some work to do with the number 3 spot. But we'll get to that a little bit later.
I think I know where you're going with that, but I got
Yeah,
you.
yeah, 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 yeah.
At number 4, I got Dr. J. Um,
Okay.
Timeless. generational. My heroes that I grew up watching in my earliest days of falling in love with basketball all talk about how much they respected him. I remember in the middle of, this is late 80s. My uncle came home from the joint. We kind of getting to know each other. You know what I'm saying? And we talking basketball. I'm talking about Jordan. You know what I'm saying? He like, nah, man, greatest player of all time is Dr. J. I don't care what you say. I don't give a fuck about no Michael Jordan. But I
And
understand why they
you know
feel.
what? I don't mean to cut you off, but that's exactly how we feel with Jordan and LeBron.
No, but
I,
I, I'm,
my
I'm,
uncle
I'm,
said the same thing.
I'm a firm believer that it matters who you grew up watching
Of
because it
course.
matters that much more. I think I told y'all the older I get, the harder it is for these motherfuckers to really impress me. And not that I be hating on
Right.
them, you know what I'm saying?
No,
But
no, 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 no.
when you in your teenage years and your early, you 7, 8, 9 years old, like they're more impressionable on you. You know what I'm saying? And you falling in love with it at that time. Same thing with
Yeah.
music. Music you grew up
Yep.
on is always gonna be the best music to you. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? And can't
Fact.
nobody tell you nothing. Our parents told us the same thing. If you got kids, we tell our kids the same thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Fact. Fact.
so, but Dr. Dre, Dr. Dr. J, you know what I'm saying, was the face of the ABA. You know what I mean? When he got to the NBA, he was still the man like that. That first dunk contest, the swag on the court, because that's if you listen to Isaiah and Magic talk about Dr. J, they don't just talk about his swag on the court and him dunking on niggas and making it look cool like nobody ever did before, but also him being a professional off the court and kind of showing them certain
Right.
things, how to move, you know what I mean, as a professional athlete, as a professional ball player or whatever.
Yep.
So, and got his championship in the NBA with the with Moses and Mo Cheeks, and the
Mhm.
4-4-4, even though it ended up being 4-4-4-1, you know what I'm saying? But ultimate respect for Dr. J, man. Not
Yeah.
for everything on the court and all of the off the court stuff too.
Right. Absolutely. Number three. I don't like him off the court. I hate him off the court, and I wish that I didn't put him on my list now after hearing your list. Will I got to put Kevin Durant, 2-time NBA champion. But he's just such an elite scorer. It's like, how can you not put him on that list? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm.
he's one of the best I've ever seen. That's 7 foot. I don't care if he says 6'10", 6'11". He's seven
Right.
foot. Never shot the ball. Never
He's
shot the ball. His dad said he's 7 foot. So I don't want to hear the rest what everyone else says. His own father said his son is 7 feet tall. So yeah,
If
he's
if you look at them Olympic team pictures, like you can see it. Like
yeah, he's taller than everybody.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Oh, what you
I saw a picture of him standing next to DeMarcus Cousins that
Mhm.
one season they won the gold medal, and I'm like, damn, DeMarcus is listed 6'11". I'm like, he's taller than DeMarcus.
Man,
So I don't want to hear no more. But anyway, he's the best 7 foot shooter I've ever seen in my life. So I got to
man.
put him in number three.
At number 3, and again, it pains me to say this, but he earned my respect. Again, as a Celtic in a Celtics jersey,
Ah,
whooping my Pistons ass consistently. You know what I'm saying? Worst play of Isaiah's career is the fucking steal, throwing it back to DJ over his goddamn head.
oh man, I remember that.
Fuck, fuck him.
I
Fuck.
watched that live as a kid. I remember that.
But I have to show him the respect that he deserves.
Yeah,
Larry Bird from
yeah.
Fritz Lick, fucking Indiana. You know what I'm saying? And I'll tell y'all this too. I don't think I mentioned this to y'all yet. I am the rare person, the rare black man or black
Mhm.
sports fan who
Yeah.
would Bird over Magic. I know,
Whoa. All right. Whoa.
I,
Whoa. Whoa.
I'm
Whoa.
in the minority. I know I'm in the minority. I'm not dying on this hill. Okay, I know I'm in the minority, but I feel like, in my opinion, if Bird had to do Magic shit, it would be easier for him to do Magic shit than it would be for Magic to do Bird shit. Magic couldn't shoot to save his life. Magic couldn't shoot to save his life. Bird is a top shelf passer of all time. His shit wasn't as flashy, and I'm not saying he was Magic as a passer. I'm not saying that because Magic is like the greatest ever. Probably Magic and J Kidd. are the two best passers of the basketball I've ever seen. Like, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
Larry Bird is in that room. Magic, I don't think Magic is in that room with Bird as a scorer, as a bucket getter. Because
All
Bird
right.
from everywhere on the floor. That's why I say that. So
We'll rap about that some other time because I want to deep dive into that, man. Wow, I did not expect that.
I know I'm in the minority. I
That
know
is the
I
hot take of all hot takes. That's crazy.
I wouldn't call it
Um,
a hot take. I know I'm in the minority. I don't know if I would say it's a hot take.
yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah.
Number two, I got you just mentioned him, Larry Bird. Three-time NBA champ, three-time MVP, one of the best to ever do it. I wanted to put him at number one, but I can't. I can't because it's always F Boston. I don't care. I don't care what kind of list or whatever. I gotta respect you, but I'm not putting you number one. Even if you are number one, you're number two.
I respect that.
Hell yeah.
At number two, I got KD. Um,
Oh wow, I didn't know you went that high on your list.
yeah. I mean, you had him three. Come on, bro. It's not like
Yeah,
we
but number two, but it was a struggle to put him number three. It was a struggle. I was like, yeah,
again for me. And again, so again, if I want to comp him to Larry Bird, 2 versus 3, Bird had a squad just like KD had a squad. Bird just
right,
got drafted to his squad. KD
right.
made a wise decision. You know what I'm saying?
And I get that, and I respect that because you got to do what you got to do to win a championship. I don't care what anybody says. I don't think you should die on the team just because you was drafted to that team.
I don't think you got to sit there and wait on them to, you know what I mean?
Right.
And again, we none of us, I don't think any of us are saying OKC was a bad space and place.
No,
But
they
but
just
if
couldn't win
he, didn't feel like
championships.
if he didn't feel like he could win with Russ and they didn't pay James Harden, like that's a kind of a big deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
Um,
that's the thing. Like James Harden leaving and going to Houston and becoming their direct competition in the West destroyed everything they had over there at OKC. I don't care what nobody said because they got to at least face them 3 times a year, 4 times a year, and it's not guaranteed they're going to make it into the playoffs if they face up against them every single time they're in a situation. So I get it.
I I feel like that was the beginning of the end, and I felt if I'm KD, I'm sitting there looking at it like, well, if y'all at least resign, and again, we're not talking about tens and 20 millions of dollars. It was less than $10 million over the
Yeah, they
course
should
of
have signed him.
that we talking about.
Yeah,
I feel like he is looking at it like if James is here, we competing with Golden State. You know what I'm
right.
saying? It's
Yeah,
us and
and
Golden State going back and forth.
winning.
And I
They're a
know,
dynasty. They would be the first dynasty out there. Like not the first dynasty, but you know what I'm saying.
I
They
know
would
what
be
you're
the
saying.
dynasty that's
That's what I'm
yeah. They
saying.
would be golden.
I
They
was
would be
ever
Golden
Golden
State.
State bumping heads in the West. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But just I'm gonna make it short because I know we running long.
yeah, yeah,
KD is arguably, in pure basketball terms, the best basketball player I've ever seen.
yeah.
I'm not talking greatness. I'm not talking resumes. I'm not talking your championship. I'm just talking about watching a motherfucker on the court that's just basically unstoppable, no matter who he's on the court with. And again, when I say it matters to me that Cleveland Golden State series, I'm not saying he's the greatest that was on that court. Because when we talking greatness, I would know, which Brian about to be my number one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
mine too.
I
We might
got
as well
Brian.
say it.
And if we talking greatness, I probably got Steph ahead of him. But if we talking just like basketball, like just straight up and down pure basketball,
Yeah,
he was the best player, head and shoulders above everybody on the court in that finals. In the
I
finals,
agree.
that also included Kevin Love and Kyrie and Andre Iguodala and like
And Clay Thompson.
time, like
Yeah,
so. Just in pure basketball terms, that's why he's at number two for me. Because KD really just be wanting to hoop.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, and he just go out there and hoop, and he do KD shit. You know, so
exactly, exactly.
and being 7 foot and being able to shoot like a 6'3" Clay, like yeah, like you can't. You can work on your handles, but you can work on your shot. You can't work on being 7 feet tall and being able to
No,
do all of
exactly.
Well, I gotta say, reading through these lists, and seeing the order. I gotta say, Raj, this is the best list you've ever done. I, there was no trolling. There was just, and you had just factual information.
Yeah,
You combined what you seen with stuff you didn't seen,
right,
bro.
right.
I got and you know
Appreciate it.
I got to give the flowers, man. You got an A plus.
Most
Well, I
definitely.
appreciate that. Thank you,
You
thank
know.
you. Fun fact, real quick. I gotta say this. Um, Small forward is my favorite position
Mm.
Okay.
because when I was playing AAU ball, that's the position I played. So I take that very serious.
Especially the addition of Cliff Robinson,
Yeah,
because that one is one that would have probably even slid by me had I've done a list. So
right, right, right.
you know,
Like I said, I
and
didn't agree with it, but I definitely respect it though. I definitely respect
Appreciate it.
it.
and yeah, nah, Will, you get an A plus too. Having Dr. J in there, and just there's a
Def-
little more homage on your list, I'll say. But the main thing too is y'all both put the right person at number one, because there's no doubt you can deny that it's anyone else.
right.
Like everything he's accomplished, and he's the all-time leader in so many categories, and there will never be another LeBron James. I mean,
No,
not that a lot of these guys can be replicated, but I was glad to see Melo made both lists.
yep,
So Worthy made both lists. So I it was definitely you guys definitely did your research and did a great job on your list. I'll say that.
definitely, man. So next week, power forwards.
Power forwards, and then we'll just need if someone wants to, like, I don't know, I graded, R&B graded. So do one of you two want to
Yeah,
grade?
I'll grade it next week because I Will did it before. He graded before, so I'll
Okay.
do it this week. And
I
if
mean,
you want to do it
still,
next week,
still,
Will.
still feel free to write a list if you want. I just chose
Yeah,
not
yeah,
to,
yeah, no doubt, no
but
doubt, no doubt.
still feel free to write a list. But all right,
Hey,
gentlemen. Go ahead.
hey,
What were you saying?
real quick, Raj inspired me. Can we add one more list for next week?
What's
We can do
that?
5, we can do 10. It don't matter to me either way. But the Clifford Robinson, you know what I mean, choice. And I had already kind of had this in my mind, but Raj sparked this, you know what I mean, when he had Cliff on his list. Can we do a list of players who not necessarily going to be remembered necessarily as like the all-time greats of the all-time greats, but
Uh
like
huh.
our favorite players that we watch? You know what I'm saying? That maybe they a Hall of Famer, maybe they not. Maybe they made a couple of All-Star games. Maybe they was a role player. You know what I mean? But just so not any consensus kind of list, but just who we enjoyed watching. You know what I mean? That wasn't necessarily like the top tier Hall of, high level Hall of Fame players.
Oh, so you
Right.
mean kind of like those middle of the pack players, not the
Yeah.
known names, but not the completely forgotten names, kind of thing. Like
Yeah,
kind of like
I guess you could say middle. Like for me, like guys that come to mind, like Eddie Jones made 2 or 3 All-Star games. You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't be considered a Hall of Famer, but one of my favorite players that I got to watch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like a guy like that. And then again, like it might be somebody who didn't make an All-Star game, but they were a really good player in their time, and that was just like no guy like that. I mean,
Hmm.
like that.
like
Like that type
one.
of thing. Oh yeah, I guess like middle of the pack. Yeah, I guess that's a
Yeah,
good way to put it.
Yeah.
yeah. Like for me, one of those players is he was an all star, but I really enjoyed watching Rip Hamilton play. Um,
Yeah.
he was like just that man was just always moving without the ball, and he was that mid range shot, and he would just jump and turn, kick the foot out, and it just was like magic. It just went in.
Yep.
I like okay, so yeah, we can do that
I'm
if you
down.
want to do.
The
All
reason
right,
I be fucking with Ryan about Nick Van Exel is because Nick Van Exel is one of them players for me.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Me too. Me too.
I loved watching Nick Van Exel play, you know. So when he threw his name out there that one day, like, man, don't be putting Nick Van Exel on the top of the in the top 10 point guard list. Rod, what's that Nick Van Exel? You know what I'm saying? I can have my Nick Van Exel jokes, but yeah, I feel like it would be dope to do something like that too.
All right.
Let's
All
do it.
right. Yeah, let's do it. So, all right. Well, that's all we got for today. We'll be back next Sunday with another episode. So until then, guys, keep your health and your wealth good. Stay positive, and we'll see y'all next week.
Peace.
All right, y'all
Peace.
take it easy. Wait. So we on tomorrow, right?
No,
Oh,
No, we're not on tomorrow.
no,
Okay.
no, no. When I do that, I'll specify. So, like right now, if we got a lot, like right now, it's not much, but we're not on tomorrow. Just today.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Peace.